Hey everyone, I'm back and today we're going to be talking about 2001 A Space Odyssey, and this movie is directed by Stanley Kubrick and came out in 1968. And when I first saw this movie, this is the second time I've seen it, and when I first saw it, I liked it. I I had a really hard time getting into it, to be perfectly honest, and overall, my first viewing was that I liked the second half a lot more than the first half. The first half was just boring and nothing happened, and I was incredibly frustrated. And the first time I watched it, after about 40 minutes or so, yeah, 40 minutes sounds right, I shut the movie off. And then a few days went by, I decided to. No, I think I turned it back on the same day and decided to give it a chance. I just needed to stop for a bit. Then I started from the 40 minutes that I left off. I made it about 20 minutes past that point and then shut it off again because I was just so bored and uninvested. And I think, I don't know, a couple days later I finished it, and then I loved what I saw in the second half, but the first half I was really bored and I just didn't care about anything, and I'm like, why is this so slow? Nothing's happening. And pretty much anything that was iconic about the movie was in the last hour and a half. So why was the first hour like that? And that was my major criticism with the movie, and I think I gave it a B plus, A minus, something like that before I switched my ratings. And in my ratings now, it would be a 7 or 8 out of 10. But this time I really enjoyed it, and I understood what Kubrick was going for. And this movie is very, very, very slow. It is 2.5 hours long. And I gotta say, for a movie like that, I was never bored. It's very slow. It asks you to be patient with it. But I think the payoff is worth it. And I think this is a movie that you need to see at least twice to understand what it's going for. Maybe not, and maybe you can get the whole experience from just one viewing. But I do think this is a movie that gets better upon multiple viewings. And what I think really helps this movie out for me is that one, the visual effects are amazing. They still hold up to this day. And two, the music. I love it. And whenever it's showing off effects, it has classical music playing. And I really love that. It makes these scenes very entertaining. And you just don't want them to stop. And I just love seeing these effects that they're able to pull off, especially for the time. And this movie isn't really about characters all that much. It's more about visual storytelling, and it wants you to read into what's going on, and it asks you to be patient, like I already said. But I do feel as though there's a decent amount to read into the film, and there's a lot that I love about it, and I think all of the performances are great, and I think the characters, even though you don't know a whole lot about them, I think they're still performed very well, and you understand who they are. I also think the movie looks excellent, and there's not one shot in this movie that looks ugly or less than perfect. I think that just everything going into this movie is amazing. And without spoiling anything, this movie does take a few different tones, and in any other movie that could ruin it, but here I think it works because the tone always feels balanced. It never feels conflicting with the rest of the movie. It always feels as though it fits. And without spoiling anything, I think the ending is amazing and probably one of the best endings to a movie ever. It gets pretty crazy. That's all I'm gonna say. And that's about all I have to say about 2001 A Space Odyssey in a spoiler-free review. There's a lot that I really want to talk about, and I'm going to have to save that for a spoiler-filled review, if I'm ever going to do that. I might one day, but I kind of want to just leave it at that, because if I talk about anything else, then I'm probably just gonna get into spoilers without me realizing that I'm spoiling things. And this is an amazing movie, one of Kubrick's best, if not my favorite Kubrick movie. It's really, really close to Barry Lyndon, if not that, then right on par with Barry Lyndon, which is my favorite movie ever. And there's not one bad scene in this movie. There's hardly anything I dislike about the movie. Everything is great. The music, and it's a very memorable movie. It's timeless, and it's a classic. And it's for a reason. So go check it out. And if you're getting into Stanley Kubrick movies, the only thing I'll say is that I wouldn't recommend starting with this one. I would recommend that you start with something like Doctor Strangelove or The Shining or Full Metal Jacket and maybe Barry Lyndon, and then work your way to 2001. And the reason I say that is because this movie is pretty out there and you might not like it upon your first viewing, just from my own personal experience. So that's my advice. So I hope you enjoy it, and with all that being said, I'm going to give 2001: A Space Odyssey a 10 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below what you thought of 2001: A Space Odyssey down below. And my social media links, they will all be in the description down below, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Austin Powers Goldmember. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great new year!